Welcome! Today we're going to talk about this beautiful 2021 Toyota 4Runner SR5 that we have for sale. This one's a one-owner clean Carfax vehicle, tad under 10,000 miles, pretty much almost meticulous condition inside and out. So if you're looking for a nice 4Runner, this beautiful example is definitely one to consider. I love the 4Runner. I started my automotive career at Toyota, so I always have a soft spot in my heart for 4Runner. And if I was in the market for one, this one right here would be right down my alley. I love the color combination, especially if you're gonna go off-roading. White is a really nice exterior color, because if you do encounter brush and sticks and branches and stuff like that, they're gonna rub up against the vehicle. Scratches and surface imperfections are a lot easier to deal with on a white vehicle versus a dark color like black, which just seems to show everything. Nice leather wrap steering wheel. The SR5 package comes nicely equipped with features, power and heated front seats. I love the roll down rear window. It's a big hit with the dogs. I bet there's probably a pretty high dog to owner ratio in the Toyota 4Runner group of people. It just seems like people who own 4Runners are the type of people that like to have dogs. Because this is a great vehicle for exploring the outdoors. While the majority of SUVs on the road are crossover SUVs, which are pretty much cars and trucks clothing, the 4Runner is old school, and old school is not always bad. I think old school is good. Old school in the 4Runner's case is this is built on rugged body on frame truck based architecture. It's very similar in construction, as far as the bones and the running gear to the Toyota Tacoma. So when it comes to towing, hauling, and going off-road, it's going to be a lot better to do it in a vehicle like this. It has great ground clearance, nice departure and arrival angles for going off-road. That just gives you a lot of ground clearance for going up steep grades without rubbing your bumpers on the ground. We have a real 2-speed transfer case with a low range 4-wheel drive system, stuff you're not going to find in a vehicle like the Toyota Highlander, which is basically like a glorified minivan that has all-wheel drive and looks like a truck. This is the real deal. Recently, we took a QX80 for a little social media exploration thing up into the Capitol Forest. This would be a great vehicle to explore an area like that. We have so many great off-road parks, outdoor things to do, trails, dunes in the Pacific Northwest, and you don't need to do technical off-roading. There's a lot of light off-roading that you can do in something like this, and it's maybe some beat up dirt gravel roads. Maybe you'll drive through a couple inches or a half foot or a foot of water, but it's not like heavy duty rock crawling and things like that. There are so many great off-road parks here in the Pacific Northwest. My neighbor, he goes out to Evans Creek pretty often. He lives in Puyallup, 45 minutes away. Wilkinson is the gateway to Mount Rainier National Park. We have a Tahuya National Forest, Capitol Forest. I can go on and on. There are so many great off-road parks so close to us, and this is a perfect vehicle to explore those areas in. We have a navigation system, rear parking camera, more off-road hardware, downhill descent control. Yeah, so that's a nice example of a 4Runner. Great color combination and pretty much close to new condition. You'll have a hard time finding a mark on this one. And another reason why the 4Runner is one of the best out of the box off-road 4-wheel drive vehicles you can buy is look at all this ground clearance. This thing is designed for going off-road. And talking about departure and arrival angles, you can see here if we're going up a steep grade and it's encountering that grade, it's not going to be less likely to rub its bumper up against the ground when going uphill or steep downhill. Likewise, that also applies to the rear of the vehicle. We have a tow hitch with a 4-liter V6 pumping at 270 horsepower. This thing's a great tow rig. Lots of space back here, cargo area protector. We have a 120 power outlet. You can fold the seats down for more cargo space. Nice, clean, spacious interior. Great family vehicle. Great vehicle for an outdoor lifestyle. And these things are super reliable. I'd probably say this is probably one of the more reliable Toyota products are out there. They're not using any, you know, revolutionary new technology. It's all very proven stuff. They've been making this engine forever, this four-wheel drive system forever. This is a type of vehicle that can easily rack up 300,000 miles with just basic maintenance and a caring owner. And you know, the one thing that I always look at, especially in Japanese vehicles, is where they belt, because this is not scientific fact, but it's my belief that some of the best Japanese vehicles are still made in Japan. The VIN number begins with a J. It does cost a little bit extra money to build a vehicle and import it versus building it in the United States. But Toyota has amazing production facilities in Japan. And even though it costs a little bit more to do it that way, I think we have one of the most reliable, you know, SUVs, four-wheel drive SUVs that money can buy. And it's not just me saying that. You can do a Google search and you can see many examples of 4Runners out there with hundreds of thousands of miles. Just go on Craigslist and look at, you know, people selling old used 4Runners. And not only do they have many hundreds of thousands of miles on them, but you can also see they still command a good amount of money. These things have excellent resale value. And that's another thing to consider when buying a vehicle, is maybe you're not going to keep it forever. When it comes time to sell it, you want something that does have really good resale value and something that's not going to cost you a fortune in repairs and maintenance. This is the exact vehicle for someone looking for low ownership costs, great resale value, great reliability, and fantastic off-road prowess in a sport utility vehicle. Thanks for taking the time today to watch this video. Hopefully see you soon, and have a wonderful day.